In this video, we're going to be looking at where to find algorithmic trading ideas. So we've built our first algorithm in a previous video, which was super simple. Now we want to start adding complexity onto it. So you need to start thinking about ideas that you might turn into an algorithmic trade or into an algorithm. So what are the sources that you can use? Where can you find ideas? And what I want you to do with this video is to focus on the inspirational side of it. Never forget that you being unique and having completely different brain structure to everyone else means that you will see things differently. You might look at a piece of data and recognize a pattern that someone else doesn't notice. For example, in the previous video, we talked about buying and selling on certain days. You might notice something that, for example, in, let's say, different months of the year, different things happen, whatever it might be, you might find some sort of pattern. And so never forget that your uniqueness gives you that edge in algorithmic trading. Anyway, let's move on to the 5 top sources that you can use to find algorithmic trading ideas. The 4th one is one that you probably would never expect. Okay, let's get straight into it. So the first one is the Journal of Financial Markets. Here you can find lots of different articles published by people doing PhDs, people who are a lot smarter than us, or a lot smarter than me anyway, and you can even take their idea as a whole and test it, or you can just find inspiration from it and adjust it slightly. So you can read through these articles, look at the ones that interest you, and go from there. A few things to note are that you want to be looking for ones where the data that they're using is accessible to the public. So if the algorithm is, or the strategy or the paper is based off private data, i.e. insider trading or data that's just not readily available to the public, you might want to stay away from that because you're not going to be able to access it, so you won't be able to benefit from the strategy. So anyway, this is a really great place to look. You can just scroll down. I'm in the normally what I do is I just go straight to the latest issue and I read all the latest articles and I just see which one stands out to me. I know in my head what sort of stuff I'm interested in. So for me, I'm really interested in volatility-based strategies. And I'm also interested in using external data, so stuff that's not actually linked to the company itself. I find that just fascinating when it's something just completely separate. Data that other investors might not be thinking of, I really enjoy that. So here's a really great one. So climate risks. So I mentioned that I'm interested in volatility. Climate risk and stable stock market realize volatility. So what I then do is I click into it and I'd read the abstract and I'll see what this is about. Okay, so this sounds really interesting. Okay, great. So this is talking about how climate risks causes volatility in a stock market. Now, obviously, climate, i.e. the weather, that data is publicly available. I know that I can access that. So if we can find the right API or the right data source to be able to pull that data down, we might be able to get an algorithm out of this. So this is something that I'll be looking into myself personally and potentially will use throughout the rest of this series. The second place to look at is SSRN. So this basically stretches way further than the financial markets, and you can look at stuff that stretches beyond just financial research. And you might find a link between, for example, macroeconomic stuff or, political decisions or whatever it might be. So here you've got a really good search function as well. So if here you see I've just typed in crypto mean reversion. So say, for example, if you're interested more in cryptocurrencies and you want like more of a statistical analysis, you can look at mean reversion strategies, you can search it, and I'll give you a load of papers based on that. So here you go, trend following and mean reversion in Bitcoin. So this might be something that you want to do if you're interested in cryptocurrencies. The third place is YouTube. You're simply just going to, search for algorithmic trading ideas. Here you go, we've got like top 6 algorithmic trading strategies. And yeah, you can look at that. You can take inspiration from famous hedge fund investors like Jim Simons or whatever it is you want to do. Our 4th one is one that's a bit obscure, but it's actually Reddit. And people often frown upon Reddit and look down on it. If you read some of this post, you can actually get some really good inspiration. There's a lot of people in these sort of channels. So this one is r/algo trading. There's a lot of people in here who actually have a financial background and have worked in the industry. So this is great for drawing on inspiration. A lot of people, they do this like building in public where they talk about their strategies. And yeah, so this is it's a great place. And then finally, the fifth place to look for algorithmic trading strategies is simply books. So if you just search for algorithmic trading books, read as many as you can, and you can find some ideas. So for example, here you can look at machine learning strategies. You can read all about that, and you might find one of those, which is super relevant right now. So there you have it. They're the 5 top sources for finding algorithmic trading strategies. And I hope you can find one, draw some inspiration from it, and follow along for the rest of this series and really develop your algorithm. So yeah, cheers guys.